Good morning, everybody, and welcome to this decision session. I am Councillor Pete Kilbane. I am the chair for today's decision session. I'm the executive member for Economy and Culture. Welcome you all to the meeting. In particular, welcome Arthur, who we have a cat in the room with us today. If anybody has any allergies to cats, then I'm giving you due warning. We're not going to ask Arthur to leave. So and Arthur is here as an emotional support animal. I personally have 2 cats. I am allergic to them, but it's worth it. Okay. So, yes, so thank you. We have no apologies for absence, and I have no interest to declare in any of the business we have in front of us today. Very happy to sign minutes from the meeting that I was at and part chaired on the 5th of August. So I'm happy to sign those off. Unfortunately, I wasn't at the meeting on the 2nd of September, so I'll leave that for others to verify. I think we'll have to work out a better system because with the combined decision sessions, this is going to happen a lot, isn't it? Okay, great. Okay, we have 3 members of the public to speak on the business before us today, which is item number 6 on our agendas, which is the Youth Without Multi-Use Games area. And if I can call the first, well, not a member of the public actually, but Councillor Eyre, if you'd like to come and address the meeting. We're all members of the public, aren't we? Okay, Councillor Eyre, 3 minutes.
Thank you, Chair. I speak this morning on behalf of the many people who use the park. This includes residents of the parish, the youth of that ward, as well as residents of adjacent wards, including those that attend Hempland, Archbishops and Applefield School. It also includes families and relatives who visit the ward. It's the job of a parish council to represent these views. It was disappointing to all these groups that at no point was there any meaningful attempt to gauge their views before making a decision. The parish made no attempt to consult or engage with the public, and for the most part took decisions in isolation with no evidence they represent the wishes of the community. The community has been consulted. The council undertook a full consultation. 263 people responded to the survey. 80% said they would use the facility. 80% said it's the correct location. 41% of those were under 16. The council visited the park on 2 occasions. All those spoken to were in favour. Hempland School, in their own time, took 4 options, including do nothing, to over 250 Key Stage 2 children. Not one child supported doing nothing, and the overwhelming majority supported the proposal. In just 2 weeks prior to the parish council meeting, 100 people signed a petition calling on the parish council to vote to progress this scheme. I have a copy of that here today. This is a scheme decades in the making. At the parish council in 2009, the issue of the unusable goalmouths was raised under any other business. Councillor Shirley Starkey stated her preference that this be addressed through the use of AstroTurf, but this was financially prohibitive for the parish council. A great deal of work has been done since that meeting to find a workable solution. During that period, the parish has adopted as policy to introduce facilities for basketball and netball. The proposal ready to go now is precisely what the parish council has been trying to achieve in the last 16 years. It raises no new issues that would not have been the same under previous schemes. It's what the community have repeatedly said they want to see. All residents are asking is that this council hears the views of the community and acts on their behalf, not on the individual preference or prejudice of 5 people. There are issues to be weighed which the parish has been correct to consider, including maintenance, drainage, the impact on residents. All of these have been considered and addressed, and there is no evidence that any of these will be an issue. The parish has in recent years added a climbing boulder and relocated gym equipment. The expansion of the park in 2011 added a climbing trail, zip wire and bucket swings. All these projects happened with no significant impact. All of these projects would have been blocked for the reasons put forward against the current proposals. That would have been a travesty for all the people who currently and have used the park for the last 15 years. It would equally be a travesty if this investment was lost. Residents in the overwhelming majority have been clear to me they see all the benefits and no overwhelming downside. They struggle to understand why this has taken so long and why this was not agreed much sooner and more simply. I ask the executive member to continue to progress this scheme as supported by the local community. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Eyre. Next, we have Sammy Phoenix and Arthur.
Has Councillor Ray left that microphone on? Hopefully. Perfect, thank you. No, stay. Stay. Might be, yeah, thank you. Apologies, I've not done this before, so it's quite a nice route to do it in.
We're all friends here in spite of the rather grandiose setting.
Okay. It's not quite as long as it looks, it's just very big font. Am I okay to start now? Thank you.
You have 3 minutes in your own time.
So good morning and thank you all for listening to me today. I'm a resident of Heworth without and a parish councillor, but I'm here today as a parent and grandparent who cares deeply about fairness, inclusion and the future of our community. I'm a parent of pre-teens, teens, young adults and now even adults, several of whom live with disabilities and neurodiversity, including autism, ADHD, anxiety, deafness. I'm also a grandmother to little ones aged 0 to 7. And so when I talk about the importance of accessible community spaces, I do so with a wealth of experience across generations and abilities. In 2004, our entire local primary school was consulted and there was 100% support for a MUGA. At the in-person consultation in the park itself, again, every adult and child consulted said yes, their voices have been dismissed. Consultation responses were rejected if they supported the project under a strange set of rules there that no one had ever been told about. Quoting the report, a number of questionnaires were rejected for reproducing the blank form or because multiple members of the same household submitted responses. Rather than accept the clear results from both their own and the City of York Council's consultation, the Parish Council chose to disregard entirely because they didn't like the outcome. A couple of local parents and myself became elected councillors mostly because of this issue. Believing we needed to step up and help, we truly believed that a group of elected representatives making decisions for the parish would not deliberately block a facility widely supported and generously funded. It made no sense. We worked hard to listen and understand our colleagues' concerns, finding compromise and reassurance. Each time a question was answered, the goalpost shifted, if you'll pardon the pun. After an officer's visit explaining the tender process, a formal minuted vote recorded that every councillor voted in favour to proceed, only for councillors later to declare that they hadn't understood what they were voting for, overturn the decision and force yet another vote. In truth, it seems that no amount of consultation or evidence, no number of supportive residents, young or old, will ever change their minds. I've sat in a meeting where the public shared myths about the facility being a floodlit, bookable, staffed sports complex with parking problems, and in reality it's simply the replacement of existing goalposts with multi-use goal structure and an artificial surface, turning a currently boggy, unusable area into a safe, flexible, year-round play space. The report mentions a fenced-off area can feel unsafe to girls, and while I understand this concern, the proposed MUGA is not a fenced facility, so it's irrelevant. I was once told by a former parish councillor that if my children wanted to play football, they should walk to Derwent Park because no one wants the MUGA. I asked how many children she'd spoken to, and I was told children's opinions don't matter because they don't pay council tax. She's right, they don't, but their parents do. Her reply summed it up perfectly. I don't care. That attitude is exactly why this discussion matters. Today's meeting, 10 a.m. during a work and school hours, makes it difficult for both working adults and school children to attend. A fair process would have been to consider who might wish to be present and choose a time more convenient for them and an evening or upcoming half term. I hear this saying a lot in my day job, don't make decisions about me without me. While this decision isn't about children directly, it is about their opportunity to access facilities close to home. Stray road land belongs to the City of York Council, and so I'm asking you to honour the consultations already carried out and reinstate the MUGA as originally planned. Our residents, young people and old, have done everything asked of them, engaged in consultations in person, online and through paper questionnaires, all in good faith. It is now up to City of York Council to show that we value residents' trust and opinions by acting with openness, fairness and respect. Thank you.
Thank you, Sammy Phoenix. Take on board your points. Just for a tip, you're 1 minute, 20 seconds over.
Yeah, I was going to say, I've met a motion.
It's
Thank you.
on more packed agendas and frankly with tougher chairs.
Yeah.
So, but it's good practice as well.
Yeah, I really appreciate you telling
But
me.
it's kind of, you when you get the 30-second warning, you're like, I haven't been talking for 2.5 minutes.
I had been timing it, but
Yeah.
got it down.
It's tricky. But anyway, your points were well made, and thank you for them. Okay, thank you. Next we have Gwen Swinburne. And I will show the same leniency to you, Gwen, but I'm sure it's time to perfection.
Thank you, because I've just had to change mine a little bit at the end because I didn't know about this.
Sure.
Okay. Let me just find it, sorry. Oh, we're open. Chair, it's troubling that a local community petition could just be dismissed both by the parish council as well as City of York Council staff and members. Such initiatives often arise through the sheer determination of a single household striving to effect positive change. Without evidence of coercion or a more substantial explanation, it all seems quite wrong. Rejected, ignored petitions for whatever reason, should go to corporate scrutiny, not just be perfunctorily rejected at will. This sets a dangerous precedent. Having said that, the 2019 Hungate Section 106 decisions to date have entirely overlooked the desperate needs of King George's Field, the only recreation field for a significant distance from the groves and in that area of Heworth. Your current distribution of the £750,000 I call Hull Road and Other Parks Investment Fund has in effect ignored entirely King George's Field and the play area. These should directly serve a number of York's most disadvantaged communities, including the Groves. Prioritising multiple investments in Hull Road Park whilst ignoring King George's Field is in direct contradiction with multiple of the Council's strategies. Health and well-being, equity, accessibility are just a few. You are supposed to prioritise accessible open spaces in deprived areas to foster better opportunities for families, improved physical activity and positive mental health outcomes, but not for our community. In 2019, the already privileged Heworth Without Ward and Hull Road Park were prioritised for this money. More troubling still, £25,000 earmarked as open space Section 106 funds was used to install a kitchen in the council's own Burnholme Centre, rather than delivering open space improvements. King George's Field remains in an appalling and inaccessible condition. It is wholly inaccessible to wheelchair and pushchair users, lacking even a single paved path from any of the inaccessible entrances, with just 2 benches, 2 rugby posts, situated uneven and on unusable ground, a lone decaying basketball ring, a bin and a muddy, hazard-prone play area. Chair, it is a scandal that this Labour administration has ignored this recreation area, but this Section 106 money that should always have gone there would ameliorate the problem to some extent. Notwithstanding the need for this King George's Field, having seen the way this petition appears to have been handled, I would ask that you don't make a decision today, Chair, that you refer it to corporate scrutiny to just check that this petition has been fairly handled, and only then, if it's proved it has been, perhaps you would please prioritise King George's Field for this money. Thank you.
Thank you, Gwen Swinburne. Okay, and thank you to all of our public participants. So moving on to the issue at hand, we have a report on the Heworth Without Multi-Use Games area. Sorry. Oh, sorry, I was informed that there was only 3 speakers today. Did you want to speak as well? Yeah, yes, I was informed that he was not speaking today.
Sit next to me while I read it out, because even on the 16, apparently that was your preference anyway.
Okay.
Okay, sorry.
Sure.
I thought that was included within that one.
Okay, sorry, yeah, there's been a bit of a mix-up. We thought both statements had been combined, but clearly not. Yeah, absolutely, yeah, no. Is it Dathy, is it? Yeah, please bring yourself to to the table. I think, is the mic still on? Are we still on with the mic? Thank you, Gwen. Okay, apologies for that.
His is timed very well, but hopefully I can do it in time.
Okay, thank you.
So I'm just going to read this as he's written it, if that's okay. So, good morning. My name is Dathy and I'm 15 years old and I live in Heworth Without. I've attended local parish council meetings because I want to understand how decisions are made. My sister and I have witnessed sexism, ableism and ageism during those meetings, including one public speaker who launched into an incredible 25-minute verbal attack on teenagers and young people, saying, "We do not want to do anything to encourage young people to use this park." It was uncomfortable and upsetting to sit through, but I've kept going. I kept attending, hoping it might see change in the future. I'm here today because that still hasn't happened. In the summer of 24, nearly 250 primary school children in this ward were given 4 choices, 3 different layouts of multi-use games area and 1 option for no MUGA. Not a single one chose no MUGA. Every child took part, supported having a MUGA. This followed December 22, when the City of York Council launched its online consultation and the parish council responded by posting just 1 paper copy of its own questionnaire through each household's letterbox. Most people I spoke to, adults and young people, never even saw it. Many copies went out with the junk mail. As local children, we wanted to take part. I know many helpfully printed or copied blank forms and shared them so that everyone could have their say. Yet in the parish council's report, many of those responses were discounted as photocopied or from the same address. Well, yes, but where did it ever say on the form or the website or in the meeting minutes, 1 household, 1 vote? Luckily, that's not a rule in the local or national elections. Why? Because it's not democratic or fair. This meeting, held at 10 a.m. on a school day, makes it impossible for most young people to attend who considered equity, equality and inclusion when deciding to hold this meeting at 10 at this time when young people could not attend rather than during the upcoming half term. I'm lucky that my family support me to be here, especially during my exam year, but many of my friends can't. So I'm here speaking on all of our behalves. Please, because this is another meeting sending the message that our voices don't really matter. The land at the Stray Road belongs to the City of York Council, and the 46,700 Section 106 funding was meant to benefit young people. Please honour the consultation you ran and the original decision made. And if you must run a new one, make sure it properly includes children and teenagers this time. So please hear our voice, because we've shown up, we've spoken up, and we've followed every step of the process. Now it's your turn to listen up and act fairly. Thank you.
And thank you, Dathy, and thank you for being able to attend here this morning. I hear what you're saying about the accessibility of the meetings. Okay, thank you. Okay, so thank you again to all of our public participants. And as I say, move on to the item at hand, which is the report onto the Heworth Without Multi-Use Games area. We have Laura Williams here to talk to the report. So Laura, over to you.
Thanks. So I'm here presenting the report on behalf of the report author, who isn't available to be here today, so bear with me. So the report explains why the MUGA that was originally progressed under the Hungate Section 106 agreement cannot now be delivered as consulted, and it sets out our proposed next steps. So in late 2022, the council consulted on siting options. Most respondents favoured Stray Road. However, in April this year, the Heworth Without Parish Council resolved that it doesn't wish to have a MUGA on Stray Road and felt that there'd been no local consensus to proceed. If you look in the report as well, public health advice has also questioned the inclusivity of MUGAs as in general, and they suggest a broader, more inclusive approach to that activity space. Just to add to the report, as referred to by several other public speakers, there was further consultation conducted by the communities team and the ward member with the local primary school in summer 2024. The note I've been given says that that consultation sought views on the design of the MUGA rather than the options on the location. So for the purposes of this report, it doesn't have a bearing on the original consultation outcome or on the officer delegation. So today we are asking you to note the consultation outcomes and the parish council's decision, authorise the return of the funding for reallocation, and agree that officers work with planning and public health on alternative local provision with any necessary variations to the S106.
Okay, thank you, Laura. I am going to make a decision today because this sorry affair has been dragging on for far too long already. Way back 2019, the initial decision was made for the allocation of funds. I've got to say, I find it a little bit confusing that Section 106 money that was allocated to city centre development ended up being allocated to a suburban ward. However, that was the decision that was made by that committee, and that's the decision that we're honouring. I hear entirely what you're saying about the parish council, and by the sounds of it, relations with the parish council in Heworth Without don't sound great. Clearly, there seems to be a difference of opinion as to who finds what to be important or significant. And while I hear entirely what you're saying, that is the way that democracy works. People get voted into positions. In those positions, they make decisions. And I think, as one of our public speakers said, the way to change that is to stand for election and to get into those positions yourself. And if you know, it is messy, and if you don't like the outcomes, then that can be very difficult to deal with. I'm not hearing any public sector equality duty arguments being put forward in a way that I'd need to take into account when making this decision. And one of the overriding factors for me is that I hear what everybody's saying about the community and the consultation, but the bottom line is, if we put a MUGA into Heworth Without against the wishes of the parish council, then that MUGA from the start is at risk, because it's the parish council that would have to be managing that. So we can't foist onto a parish council something that it has clearly voted against. And I understand that some people don't like the outcome of that decision. And I also take on board what you're saying about accessibility in terms of evenings and half term, and that is something that we'll take back to Dem Services. So with all that in mind, and in order to move this on, because we really need to get this money spent for the benefit of the people of York, then I'm happy to go with the recommendation from the officers, which is noting the outcome of the original public consultation, note the outcome of the parish council's vote on the 28th of April 25. I am authorising the return of the 46.7 thousand Hungate funding for reallocation to a new project, and I do agree for officers to work with the planning team on a suitable alternative provision and public health to target health and sports provision in the area, secured by associated agreed variations to the original 106, so that we can try and get this money spent. Otherwise, we're just going to end up going round and round in circles on this. Okay, I appreciate that's not the decision that everybody wants to hear in the room today, but we are at least moving on with this. So thank you all for your contributions to the decision. Okay, the last item on the agenda is any urgent business. There's been no urgent business raised with me prior to this meeting. So with that in mind, I will thank you all and draw this meeting to a close.